How are y'all doing this evening? Y'all doing all right? Let me make sure everything's good on here. It doesn't look like it is. See if it is live. Yes, I am live. Good. All right. I guess we're all right then. Sorry, I've been having some problems with this, so we will well, let's go ahead and get into it. Sorry about that. So, welcome to the Auburn Sports Forum. I am your host, Jeremiah Schumann. As I said before, I've had um, some really bad technical issues, and I don't want to have those. So, I really appreciate your patience here. All right. There is all kinds of things going on today. I don't know how to explain that, but the one thing that's not going on is the thing that we want to happen. That's Byron Brown. So let me jump right into here, and I'm going to go through everything that's happened today. Basically, the returning players, everything else, and then I have some big news that has just come out in the last hour. Some people might have seen it, some people might have not. So I'll let y'all know about that. But before I talk about that, I would like to talk about these returning players real quick. If y'all don't follow Taylor Corn, she is a reporter for Auburn, and she does a great job. I mean, she gets up and close and gets some good news from some of these players, and I would just recommend you follow her. It's Taylor Corn, Korn, on X. But she has a list, an ongoing list here of players that are coming back because there was a time where the list was so long of everybody leaving. She had that list going. I think it got up to 30 something. And so now she's making a list of all the players that are coming back, which is really nice because there must be something positive going on in Auburn because a lot of these players that I'm about to mention, some of them had hit the portal, some were thinking about hitting the portal, and they've come back. So we all know Xavier Atkins and DeMarcus Riddick, Malik Autry, Jordan Crawford. We know about that. Elijah Melendez, Bryce Diaz, Anquan Fagans, and Eric Winters announced yesterday. I did say that on my show yesterday. And then Blake Woodby and Ryan Gee, or Ryan G, however you say that. We're going to figure out exactly how to say that one of these days. And then Jared Smith and Sam Turner announced today that Jared Smith's coming back. He was in the portal, and Sam Turner never got in the portal, and he is not going to enter the portal. So that is some good news. Let me get off of here. So those are the two, basically Jared Smith and Sam Turner, which we talked about. Jared Smith, don't let him go past you too quick because he really is like a Jadeveon Clowney. He's built like him. He has the elite upside of a Jadeveon Clowney. It's just he needs to develop a little bit, but his measurables are crazy. As I said before, 6'6", 230, 240 pounds. Normally 6'6" guys are 250, 260. So when they're actually 230, 240, they're a little more, they're quicker, lighter weight. They're a little quicker, and they usually aren't built like that. So when you get a guy like that, it's kind of nice to have. So anyway, keep him on your radar. Sam Turner, we all know about him. He's an awesome wide receiver, and he has chosen to come back. So then we're going to get into and then the third one. I forgot I wrote it for some reason. I put it all the way down here. Bryce Kane. I was really waiting for him to say he was coming back. That was a really big deal. So he has officially said he will not enter the portal. He wants to come back and do his thing here at Auburn. So that's really good. Moving on to the guys that we've signed, we talked about the freshman USF player Lachlan Hewlett. He is 4 years of eligibility. I'm going to say what they said. I don't know if I agree with it, but they said that he's kind of like a Deuce Knight situation. But like I said, there's no proof out there of it, so we don't really know. But that's what they say on social media. I don't know if they're saying that for clicks or whatnot, but that's what they said. And then you got we signed Hudson Powell, long snapper from the Miami Redhawks. He has 1 year of eligibility left. He's 6'3", 230. He's been a long snapper his whole career. Then you got Christian Neptune, wide receiver, USF wide receiver, 5'11", 189 pounds. He caught 38 passes for 338 yards last year for Golish. And he just committed just a little while ago. It wasn't maybe an hour ago, maybe. And so then after that, there's nothing. I mean, we're all just sitting here begging for Byron Brown to make his entrance. And so the 29 people that are in here are going to learn what I just found out. If y'all follow people on Twitter, there are so many people out here to follow, and there's people that I trust and people that I don't. But if y'all know Jake Crane of Crane and Company, Auburn dude, grew up in Auburn. I mean, like, has a lot of connections to Auburn. Literally 1 hour ago. Now, this is crazy because I've been calling for this, and I really, and when I say this, the ones that have been watching me know that I've been calling for this because I got really mad at a certain player because of what he did. But Jake Crane literally just said an hour ago on X that the reason that Byron Brown has not shown any, they haven't shown any graphics, he hasn't committed, whatever, hasn't signed, whatever you want to say, is because Deuce Knight's coming back with him. Yes, I said that correctly. He said that there is things that they're doing behind the scenes to get some graphics together. That's what it says on his Twitter. But they're saying that Deuce Knight is most likely coming back with Byron Brown. Now, this is Jake Crane's word, not mine. I do trust him. He knows a lot. A lot of things he says comes true, and he calls it like he sees it. And that's one thing I do like about him because that's how I do it here. And if you know and you listen to me in the past, that is what I've said before. I've said Deuce Knight needs to sit behind Byron Brown. They're both very mobile. They're both very dangerous. And it is a very important thing for him to sit behind someone like that because all the teams we've named, he's gonna sit on the bench for another year. I don't care what anybody thinks. I mean, he is a bench sitter for another year to develop, not because he's not good, but because there's someone on the bench with more experience than him, and he can learn behind them, and then he can move on after another season of sitting behind someone that knows what they're doing. And there's no way that I'm saying that Deuce is bad and he's not going to be elite or whatever. So don't come at me for that. But I'm telling you now, he needs to sit behind somebody. And why not sit behind Byron Brown? I don't know if how they got into his ear, but the one thing I want to put with that is there was a lot of smoke out here about Deuce Knight. He supposedly didn't get in the portal. They did paperwork yesterday, supposedly. That's what I was reading, and he wasn't officially available, like in portal, to be talked to till today or yesterday late, something along those lines. But there was a lot of smoke out here that Boston College was the only offer that he got. There's a lot of players. There's a lot of fans and stuff trying to push him to Ole Miss. I'll get into that in a second because two of our other players went there. They've already signed. So that's kind of a big deal. And so when you put it all together, Deuce Knight did exactly what I reported on in one of my other videos. There was a guy on X, he's a recruiter, and he said that last season people would get into the portal, they would realize the offers weren't as good as what they were at the house, what they were at their former team or their current team, and then they didn't have the ego. They had too much ego to where they didn't want to go back to their current team. So that he was warning players, if your current team that you're at is offering you a good number, don't jump into the portal. Well, the portal's open, and 4,300 players later, we are where we are. It's supposed to be, they were projecting 3,200, but today they said there was 4,300. So you tell me. So with that smoke going along with Deuce, I think that Deuce is starting to understand that just because he thinks he's great right now, it's not that someone out there is going to pay him $2 million to sit on a bench or even $1 million to sit on a bench. And I think he's starting to understand that Auburn's offer was extremely fair and you have the opportunity to sit behind Byron Brown and almost have a guarantee to play next season. So it just seems like a no-brainer there. I don't know why you wouldn't do that in the first damn place. That's what I've been calling for, because I know the kid's great, but I also know that he's like boneheaded up here. Like he thinks he wants to play now. He knows he wants to play now, but this is a different system than high school. This is freaking college football. Like, and when we're sitting here acting like we're just going to come in and take over. Like, I understand these kids come from big programs and, they're awesome there. And I mean, I know where he came from, right up the street, Lucedale, and that's fine. But I'm so happy to hear that he might be coming around. And that's what I want him to do. Because I made a big, long speech the other day about legacy. I'm not going to go into it again, but it's very important. I'm an old guy, but it's very important. Legacy is so important. And I don't care what y'all say on Twitter. Yes, it can be about the money, but it can also be about the damn legacy. So tired of hearing about it can't be about legacy. It's all about money. There are a few players choosing legacy. Xavier Adkins choosing legacy. A lot of these players are. Some of these players were thinking about not doing it. So when it comes to Deuce, I hope that rumor is true, because if he goes to Ole Miss, he's sitting behind somebody. But I mean, the places where he's being rumored, there's nobody that's like Byron Brown. And I'm not saying we have him yet, but I mean, I think it's a foregone conclusion. I think that why they're waiting is to announce. I mean, if you can come out and announce Byron Brown and Deuce Knight together, that's like a atomic bomb on the portal. I mean, that would be huge. I mean, that not only sounds good and is good for visuals, like we were saying when Cam left, that was bad visual. That was nothing. By dropping the bomb of Byron Brown and Deuce Knight would be an atomic bomb visually, not just for Auburn, but for the recruiting of more players out of the portal to Auburn. I mean, we've already heard that. I'm going to screw his name up. Everybody's getting on to me, but Jeremiah Cogger, I think is his name, Coger, whatever you want to say. He's thinking of. I mean, I've heard that he's really serious about Auburn. Keyshawn Singleton, another one. I mean, those dudes, they're measurables. What, 6'3", 210? Yeah, I'll take both those guys, along with all the other ones that we have. The smaller fellows that we got, mix all them in. My goodness. So I just wanted to bring that up just so y'all could be aware. He might end up going to Ole Miss. Who knows? But when someone like Jake Crane says that, y'all can look it up on X. But when Jake Crane says something like that, I'm at least going to say it because I get excited. And that's what this whole experience on here is about. It's a fan perspective. Damn it, I'm a fan. So just want to let y'all know that. And so just to kind of finish off my little speech here before I invite anybody up here, is Michigan State running back Mekhi Frazier. He's in Auburn today, or was in Auburn today. Cal running back Brandon Hyde Jr. was in Auburn today. Iowa State cornerback Trey Bell was in Auburn today. USF tight end Jonathan Eccles was in Auburn today. James Madison offensive tackle Joseph Simmons was in Auburn today. Connor Wiegman, Texas A&M QB. Y'all know him. He's trending to go to Auburn. He has not signed yet. He has not made a visit yet. Cody Siegler, defensive lineman, Arkansas State, is trending towards Auburn. And then these last four are basically just players that left us. One did not, but he's a big player, so I'm gonna mention him as well. But Malcolm Simmons had a visit with Arkansas. He's going to Kentucky. It's kind of laughable. I've kind of made fun of it on some lives because he literally left here, talked all kinds of crap, and then he's going to go play for Arkansas or Kentucky. Like, I know Kentucky's kind of on the up and up. Arkansas might be, but I don't think it's better than what we got. Anyway, good luck to him. Kayan Lee and Jay Crawford both signed with Ole Miss. And the big one was Nick Marsh. If you look at Nick Marsh's stats and Cam Coleman's stats, they both are almost identical player. And they both had really horrible QBs or QB situations last season. So everybody's kind of putting them together in a pot there, saying they're the same kind of wide receiver. But he has committed to Indiana. And I will also say that Mr. Signetti up there is killing the portal. He's getting whoever the hell he wants. And that's amazing for Indiana. I mean, you look at who he's got. He's got a couple 4-stars, a 3-star. And like I said, he's not going after just the big names. But, I mean, Nick Marsh is a big name. But the other one's not huge names, but awesome players. So congratulations to Nick Marsh. Let me see here. I'm going to show y'all this as well real quick. We're going to go just so y'all can see it. I forgot to pull it up, so I apologize. This is from Jake Crane's website. If you go to his site or go to his page, it's a little more than that. There's a couple other posts about it as well, so y'all can check that out if you want to. And then also, where is it at here? Oh yeah, I've been to. If y'all want to see this, I'm just going to show it to you anyway. But they added a few staffers. Auburn did, and so I just took a picture of it, and you got all these new staffers up here. So that's kind of big. I just kind of keep up with all of it. I put everything I can keep up with Auburn. I do. So that's the new staffers. You can take a screenshot or whatever you want to do for that. And I think that's it. I will double check. Oh yeah, and then Babysitter Bari on X. He's a big Auburn person, or she is. I don't know if it's a he or she, but he posted this. I think he made this. It's AI generated, so I want to say that before I put this up here. But I thought it was pretty funny. He posted this goalish with a whole bunch of money. I thought that was pretty fitting, actually, because I mean we had 30 million and then we lost all those players. And I mean, do you add the other 10 million on top of that of players we lost? So that's kind of crazy. All right, so and then let's look at the comments. War Eagle on Voice of Reason's back, man. That boy always shows up, man. Thank you. Yeah, it's USF goalish. I know it is. Let me go through these real quick. War Eagle. Yep. I don't know when Byron Brown makes it official. I hope he makes it official soon enough, with or without Deuce night, but preferably with. That would be cool. Boston College just signed a QB, so maybe that whole Deuce night thing is true. Maybe it is. Is there any chance Cam Coleman? See, that's the other thing I guess I could talk about, because I've done some digging on that boy in the last day or so. As I think I said it on my live yesterday, so I'll mention it one more time. Basically, it was being released by all kinds of people that he was asking for $4 million. Well, then his family comes out and says that they were sold a bill of goods. Well, then you have to go dig a little further and figure out what that all means. Basically, Auburn has come out and said they offered him $2 million. They offered him $2 million. He went back, told his family, and his family said whatever they were going to say. And then his agent came to him and said, "Man, you can get more than that. Let's go for $4." His agent, I'm telling you, if you look his agent up, I did, and he's very aggressive. He's an up and comer. He does have a lot of players that are big time young players under his, name, or whatever you want to call it. He's their agent, and he's a very aggressive guy. So he's doing his job. But I think in this case, with the portal being so in its infancy, he doesn't he hasn't. No one's really figured out how the hell to do this the right way to get the most money for these players. From an agent's point of view, now from a fan's point of view, we don't give a damn. Just come play for us, right? So, but from an agent's point of view, they haven't really figured out the formula yet. And so when he told Cam $4 million, and he probably told him things like, and this is all speculation, but the only way that Cam, I think, jumped into the portal is he said, "Hey, other teams are wanting you to jump in to talk about these offers, but you can get $4 million." And then when he jumped in, he realized the $4 million was not real, because if you go back like the day after he jumps in, I reported that all the other teams, Alabama, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, all of their media was out there like, "Hey, man, we want the kid, but $4 million?" Like, Alabama was going nuts. They were like, "Can we pay $4 million? Like, we can pay that, but do we want to pay $4 million?" And so I think the media swarmed this whole idea of him getting 4 million because the number 4 million got out there pretty quick. And so by them all saying, yeah, we want him, but we're not going to pay that, it really drove his price down, and he's not getting any formal offers. I think Alabama kind of blew their idea. He went to Texas. He left Texas, so Texas didn't sign him. I don't know what that all went like. So basically what he's hoping for, and what I've been reading, is he's hoping for a 2.5 million or a $3 million offer. I don't know if he wants a fully guaranteed one, I'm sure, but basically this whole story is a learning lesson for players in the future that, you know, if your evaluation from the team is pretty close to what you already think, then just take it. I mean, seriously, it's $2 million. I mean, we played college football back in the day. It was free. So I really don't understand that. So I think that's what happened, and I think that they've learned from it. But this agent, I think, is totally screwing him over. But we'll see how this all plays out. I don't know if he can come back. It depends when he makes his rounds. Like I said, he's went to Texas. Then now he's going to go. He's at Texas A&M, Texas Tech, USC. I mean, just when all that crap is over with, we'll see if someone signs him. But I think that just with all the money mayhem and the promises, and as I've said before, they needed, I'm telling you, this entire country, football wise, team wanted that kid to dip his toe in the portal, and they could not get him in there. He wasn't going to go. Like, his family even like kind of tweeted that, like, we were sold a bill of goods. Like, they were not planning on him getting in there, but he ghosted Golish from the 25th on, is what we're hearing, because I think that's when that little birdie was getting in his ear. And like I said, this is all speculation, but right now he's got an offer from Auburn, I think at $2 million, and he's hoping for something more. So we'll see how that all plays out. I don't really know. I think it's kind of fun to keep up with, though. Let's see what else we got. Frazier signed with Houston. Oh, that's pretty cool. What would nuke the portal? Oh, that would nuke. Yeah, it absolutely would nuke the portal. Let me see. Let me get up to. Yeah, and see, Voice of Reason, he just nailed it. Here, I'll put it up here. I said this yesterday. This is something that Auburn fans need to be aware of, is that this staff, I'm just going to say it like I said it in my last show, they don't give one iota of a damn about what this looks like, about what the media says, about what the other colleges are going to say, about what you and I think. They don't give a, I want to say it, but I'm not going to. They don't care, because all they promise to do is to make this team better and get wins. And that's all they do. Whatever is going to get them to that goal. When he said he has a standard and a process, he was not playing. If you go look, listen to him in podcasts, listen to him in interviews, the guy doesn't play. And impressing somebody is not what he's going to do. Now, I think that also goes into, why do I think we've gone 2 days with no big signing? Because I think it's a plan. I really think it's a plan. There's no way we have $30 million and all these player needs, and yet we haven't signed one big, superstar player. I think it's all part of the scheme. I think he's, like I said, they're going to package Bryce Brown and possibly Deuce Knight together. Don't know if that's going to be a thing, but if they do, that's like setting off a bomb in the portal. I mean, you want to know what all the other wide receivers are thinking? Well, crap, I want to go there. I want to go play with those guys. What about if, and I hate to say this, but what if someone just for some crazy instance, like Jeremiah Cobb, what if he's on the fence? And then you see that, and oh, I'm not going anywhere. This is going to be awesome. And then some of the USF wide receivers see that, and I'm, yep, signing up with that. So, I think like Tompkins said here, it's like a domino effect. Exactly. So I think it's really important to understand that everything that this team does is calculated. It's a calculated move for a calculated response. So, and I'm not just saying that. People are going to make fun of us. I'm so used to it. People on there calling me crazy for saying these things on social media. Been around for a long time and have dug into Golish since he announced, and I've found out this is going to be interesting, because and I'll go ahead and say the atom bomb of statements for the day. What Goalish does is very, very similar to what Kirk Cignetti does. Are we going to be Indiana? Not saying that. What I am saying is they're all about mindset, structure, processes, and just playing disciplined football. And I can tell you, and I've said before, from my Buccaneer fandom, the 2002 Buccaneers that won the Super Bowl. If you go watch documentaries on that defense, the reason, they asked every one of them in a documentary why they were so good. And they literally said, I didn't have to worry to the man to the left or the man to the right of me of doing his job. I knew he was going to do his job. I didn't have to try to cover him for this. He doesn't have, I think this guy might have a weakness. So let me cheat down here a little bit. Let me make sure this guy's doing okay. Like Derek Brooks being the middle linebacker. He said, all I had to do is focus on doing my job. And I know that Rondé Barber over here is going to do his job. And I know Brian Kelly over here to my left is going to do his job. And so on and so forth. You have yours covered, and they do too. And so you can play disciplined football and be an elite unit. And that's what Indiana's doing right now. And they can only get better. They can only get better from what this says go Bucks. Damn, I got a Buccaneers fan in here. That's what I'm talking about. So they can only get better. I mean, what Indiana's doing right now, if you go watch them play Alabama, that's all they did, play disciplined football. That's it. They played hard and they played disciplined, and Alabama had no answer for it, because when you play disciplined, it's hard to beat because everybody's where they're supposed to be at all times. So it's hard to beat. Has anyone commented? Yeah, there's comments in the room. Absolutely, there sure is. Let me see here. I'm getting over here real quick. I gotta see if there's anything good. New post. Oh, okay. Well, he says he's waiting for a Byron Brown announcement. Hang on one more second. Making sure there's no new news. Nope, no new news yet. So I just was Dwight Smith. Oh yeah, Dwight Smith, boy, that's what I'm talking about. Number 26. He had one of the most significant interceptions of that Super Bowl. That was great. So anyway, I just wanted everybody to understand kind of what we're going through and what we're dealing with. So it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a crazy season. It's going to be a crazy off season. So that's all I got for right this second. But if anybody wants to get up here, I will put the link, and I will tell y'all I'll put the link first and then I'll tell y'all. Hang on. He said we probably hear about Byron tomorrow, and that's fine if that's the case. Here's the link. If you want to come up here, just copy it into a browser, whatever, and then you can come up here. It's right there. You can copy it into a browser. You can come up here. But basically, what was that? Oh, I did it twice. Look at me go. That's hilarious. So, yeah, so all we're doing now is waiting on Byron Brown, and then see if he comes up tomorrow, and then y'all let me know if y'all have any questions. You can put them in the comments. I'll answer them as much as I possibly can, and we can go from there. Man behind the mic, are you wanting to come up here or no? I'm just wondering. Oh yeah, 2 picks and 1 pick six. Yep. Yeah, I've got all my Buccaneer stuff here behind me. If I had this background not there, I think it would be all right. Yeah, we did have the USF reunion today. Absolutely did. All the what was it? It was a tight end. It was the wide receivers. Yeah, we had a bunch of them. Let's see here, but let's see. Oh yes, they're as the QB2. They're going after Connor Weigman. Connor Weigman out of Texas A&M. That's who they're going. Perry Thompson, he's got all kinds of people on his list. He's got, if you look at Perry Thompson's list, I mean, you name it, he's got a bunch of schools after him. I mean, he's a good slot position type of wide receiver. I mean, I know we played him wide receiver two a couple times, but I really think his strength is in the slot. That's just me. I mean, he's a little undersized, but not very much. I mean, he's very quick for his size. So, like I said, you name it. I mean, he's got them looking after him for sure. Um, Cole Skinner, offensive line. That's the other thing is the offensive lineman. Oh my goodness. I was sitting here begging. I was sitting here begging for offensive linemen, and if you look at the tracker for Auburn, that's all they're doing. It's nothing but offensive linemen. It's very refreshing to see a coach that understands this, and like that's what you're seeing. Like when you watch some people like Indiana, they're going after players that they need and everything like that. So it's really nice when you sit there and say, as a fan, like, as we say in Auburn, run the damn ball. That's what we were begging Hugh Freeze to do and Harsin to do, and they never could figure out how to do that. So to see all these offensive linemen come in here, and it's good ones too, very refreshing to see. I'm very excited about that. I don't know, and just to let everybody know, this guy here, Eric, he's asking any chance he comes back with Deuce or Byron. I don't think so, and I'm not saying Deuce is coming back. I'm just reporting what Jake Crane said, so y'all don't hold my feet to the fire on that one. I don't think he's coming back. I have not heard that at all. So, pardon me. Anyway, and see if we have any more questions. Hey, another cool feature I did tonight. I actually figured out how to do it. Is I'm streaming to my Facebook and my Twitter. I can't do it quite yet because I think it said you had to have like a premium account or something. But I'm on YouTube and Facebook right this second. I have an account on X, but we'll get to streaming there soon enough. But if y'all haven't followed my Facebook account, that's fine. I'm also on TikTok. So yeah, the trenches are very, very important to do. Let me see here. Let me double check. Y'all keep throwing these questions up here. Let's see. What's the holdup on Byron Brown? As I reported, the holdup on Byron Brown is supposedly, don't know how true it is, but it's supposedly they're trying to get everything together to get him and Deuce the announcement of them as a collective together. Don't know how true that is, but Jake Crane of Crane and Company reported that was a thing. There's also some other people. The one reason why I just said it, Stanley. The big news is about Deuce coming back, possibly with Byron Brown. But the reason I mentioned it was not just because Jake said it, but there's two other people that I follow on X that are know things. They're in the know. Everybody, there's a lot of people that follow them, and they kept saying there's smoke around Deuce and Auburn. There's smoke around Deuce and Auburn. And then Jake Crane comes out and says what he says. And I'm like, you know what? I'll just mention it and we'll see where it goes. But I will say that if you get on X, one of the biggest pushes I've ever seen from these Ole Miss fans to get Deuce up there. They really want him up there. At this point, I mean, do I think we need Cam Coleman back? I know we got hurt about it, but I mean, yeah, Jake Crane has a lot of valid inside sources. But as far as Cam Coleman, if their head's right, that's where because he's already proven by doing what he's doing that he's more about the money than the development, and that's what Cam Newton was scared about when he on his show he was talking about all these kids just jumping for money. So, I mean, sure. I mean, I'm cool with any of it. To be honest with you, I just I'm gonna keep it real. I really don't like it when you are being told by multiple sources that you need to stay, take your offer, blah, 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 blah. And then you listen to some agent that the agent's about the money. He's trying to make his cut as well. And then you take his advice and whatever, almost like a Freddie Freeman situation where Freddie Freeman was told all these lies to get the deal done with the Dodgers. And then when he got over there, he realized he was lied to. And then he wanted to come back to the Braves. Of course, he couldn't. But he's had a great run at the Dodgers, so maybe it will be all right. But yeah, these kids are definitely gonna have some issues if they don't stop doing just this whole money deal. It just makes no damn sense whatsoever. So does anybody want to come up here, or you can ask any more questions y'all want to pose to me here? Anything y'all are looking forward to? I mean, are y'all wanting to see just offensive linemen? I mean, is that number one for everybody, offensive linemen? Can we agree on that? Yes, no, maybe. Put a one in the comments if you want to see offensive linemen first. If not, what position do you want to see first? Yep. And see, that's the other. See, it says, I'm living a saga replay. Deuce might find out the hard way. I'm going to be honest with you. If you go back, I don't know if it was last show or show before last, I reported what that recruiter said, and he saw this coming, because this is like, yeah, offensive lineman. He saw this coming with this portal. This is a one portal situation that is nothing but an S show. That's all this is going to be, and that's all it's becoming. Everybody's like, well, it's about the money. It's about the money. It's about the money. Well, guess what? It might be trending that way, but if you don't make it about the money, then you can get the money. That's literally how it's going to work. It's like Xavier Adkins. He got a good chunk, and now he's going to make another year of impressions on people. He's going to get another chunk, and then he's going to do that, and then he's going to go to the NFL, and then he's going to be known as a guy that sticks around and does his thing. But all these other kids, they're just jumping around. I mean, what do you think that's going to be? I mean, some of them will be fine, but then there's also going to be some that aren't going to be fine. They're going to have to learn the hard way, like some of these followers, some of these people watching today have said. So, I mean, what's 100%, but what's a legacy? I mean, a legacy for, is that a serious question? I mean, he said 100%, what's a legacy? I mean, back in my day, that was how you had to do it, because you couldn't just jump. I mean, you had to stay at your school. You had to build a legacy there. I mean, that's why Bo Jackson has a statue outside Auburn. That's why, Frank Thomas has a statue outside Plainsman Park. They made a legacy at Auburn. It's a daggum folklore now. I mean, it's, people forget. I mean, and I'll be honest with you, Cam Coleman and Deuce Knight have the ability to be a one in a lifetime player if they would apply their self to being developed by people that already have been developed, if that makes any sense. So, as I said, I'm so used to, after my show's over with, everybody calling me, some people calling me morons, but I mean, that's just the way I see it. What's up with Jeremiah Cobb? Nothing. I have heard nothing about Jeremiah Cobb. I hope it stays that way. I don't know why he's being so quiet, but he could easily just come out and say, I'm staying. But as of now, we've heard nothing. I have no worries with it. With Demarcus Robinson leaving, I really don't think I don't think there's a problem there. But at the same time, I mean, we haven't seen that he's getting in the portal or anything, so I don't really think that will be a problem. Yeah, Jalen's a beast. I don't know if he's going to be gotten by us, but we will see. Let's see here. Eric Singleton and Connor Liu could come back. Oh my gosh, really? Are you serious? Like, I've never heard that. I mean, I would rather, they both, the one, okay. As you can see, I'm kind of, okay, that's kind of catching me off guard there. Both of them have declared for the NFL, if anybody in here doesn't know, and he's saying that they could come back. And Voice of Reason's been on top of things. He's actually been on top of stuff. So anyway, we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, I mean, I'm very excited to see. I mean, I thought that the reason I did the show tonight is because I don't know if y'all saw this. Let me see if I can pull it up, because I really want y'all to see this. Andrew. I promise you, I'm not wasting y'all's time here. Let's see here. Where's it at? This was earlier today. There we go. Save there. I forgot to save this for y'all to see. Look at here. This is nuts. So Andrew Warsaw, we actually finally have a GM now. So we have a GM. I mean, because a lot of these schools that are taking this whole, process seriously into this whole portal junk. And just, I mean, you have to run it like an NFL team now. I mean, it has to be run like an NFL team. So let me show you this. Andrew Warsaw is our GM now. And this is what he posted earlier today, which is why I'm doing this show right now. Thank you, Andrew. I don't know if y'all can see that up there. Holy wow, it's just a picture. Holy crap. Anyway, this is I guess it just did a screenshot of the picture. Sorry about that, but this is Andrew Warsaw's page, and it literally says big news today, or a big day. Let me see what it says exactly. Huge day. That's what it says. Huge day, War Damn Eagle. And we haven't had a huge day yet. So what does that mean? So yeah, go follow him on X, Andrew Warsaw. If you do not follow him on X, yep, nothing happening right now. Any chance Austin comes back? No, absolutely not. He's one of those guys I told y'all when stuff goes south, with you play for a team, like you get a bad taste in your mouth, and some players just keep that bad taste in their mouth, and they don't want to come back. I mean, and I don't blame them. I mean, the way that Hugh Freeze did Austin, I'm just going to say that looking back on it, is borderline just dirty. I mean, that's just really dirty the way he did Austin. I mean, Austin was a captain. He was very respected by his teammates, and Hugh Freeze was doing him dirty, and I just didn't like it. Perry Thompson as a tight end, yeah. I mean, that would be good. Anything on Perry Thompson? Nope, nothing on Perry Thompson. He's got Austin a selfish player? Well, not really. I mean, Austin was not a selfish player, actually. He actually wanted to play, but at the same time, Hugh Freeze was not running the damn ball. I mean, he was not running the ball. And this was his, I mean, he was about to give up his whole senior season for nothing. And so I really don't blame him when you are in that locker room that we have now found out was extremely toxic. Why would you stay? I don't blame him at all. Now, at first, after I heard what Hugh Freeze says, actions detrimental to the team. Like, and then you find out that he just didn't want to play because you weren't, doing what you said you were going to do as a head coach, and he's going to waste his whole senior season on a sham of a coach. Yeah, I mean that's fine. But I don't. Yeah, I agree. I agree with Robert Smith here. I don't want Austin. I don't. But I don't think he was selfish. I think he did the right thing. Yeah, Robinson's gone. Sure is, and I'm so upset because I pulled his autographs about a month or two ago. So I pulled like 2 or 3 of them, and it is what it is. Well, actually, I mean, not really. I mean, if you really look at the season, I mean, I see what you're saying. Austin got beat out and wanted a red shirt. I mean, we didn't run the ball though. Like, he was told that this was going to be a run heavy year with him and Cobb, and then everything was going to go fine. And then we did. I mean, they underutilized Cobb this year. That was almost a travesty. I mean, Cobb is a 1,500 yard back, 1,200 yard back easily. I know that's not what he did because we didn't run the ball the way we should, but when you gave him the ball, he ran it great. And Austin, he's a great back. I don't think he's as good as Cobb, but he would have got some carries, but we didn't run enough for him to want to stay. I mean, and like I said, he had got injured at the right time when he came back. He had only played 4 games, and so therefore he could redshirt. And as I said, I'll just leave it at that. I think he did the right thing. Everybody is more than welcome to have their own opinion on that, but that was it. Freeze was weak. Yep, absolutely. That was the other thing, is I was in a live the other night and I was talking about Freeze, and some guy came in the live and said, "Why in the hell are you talking about Freeze when you got an amazing coach?" And I was sitting here going like, can I talk about who I want to talk about? Like, it's crazy. Me and this other guy were having this great conversation. We were just kind of reminiscing on some of the things that Freeze did. Someone came in there. We found out he's an Alabama fan. So I guess that is one thing, which I do like some Alabama fans, but he was kind of a jerk. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see here. Yeah, everybody's glad he's gone. We're blessed that Cobb is still here. Yeah, well, I don't think I haven't heard anything. Alvin Henderson. Yeah. Alvin Henderson is wanted very badly by this staff. I know that they've told him that. I know that he is aware of that. He is not declared that he's staying or getting the portal or anything else like that. But I do know from what I've heard, other than Cobb, Alvin Henderson is their favorite backup here. But with all of these running backs coming in here, I don't know what that says. I really don't. I mean, I'm good at reading the tea leaves, but when you have no running back saying a daggum word, and then you have them bringing in all these running backs, then I mean, it's kind of scary. Man behind the mic, are you back? Are you back? Do you want up here? Then
And
let's see.
let's see.
Oh, oh. So there we go. Whoops, I accidentally muted you there. That's my fault. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, there's. I wasn't
I
expecting
wasn't
all of
expecting
these
all of these
running backs to come in
running
here.
backs to come in
I
here.
really wasn't.
I really wasn't.
So, do you
So,
have anything that
do
you
you have
want to
anything that
put
you
in
want
there?
to put in there? I'm just waiting for this Byron Brown thing to end. But now that we're hearing that possibly Deuce Knight is possibly coming back with him, I mean, it might be worth the wait. Like I said, hopefully that's true that he is coming back. But like I said, we don't know that for sure. But if they do come as a tandem, I'm all for it. But like I said, I think we really just need to focus, with all that going on, I think we need to just start going ahead and locking up some offensive linemen.
Yeah, I'll tell you another
Yeah,
thing that's
I'll
kind of
tell you another
funny
thing that's kind of funny
is that when you look at
is that when
these
you look at these
posts by
posts by
all these players
all
that are
these
being
players that are
retained
being
by
retained by
um,
um,
Auburn, like
Auburn,
Bryce
like
Kane,
Bryce
they're all
Kane,
saying the
they're all
same
saying
thing.
the
I'm
same thing.
excited to
I'm
get
excited
coached
to
up by
get
new
coached up
coaching
by new
staff and
coaching
cannot wait
staff
to
and
get
cannot
back to
wait to
work.
get back to work.
I thought that's kind of
I
funny
thought
that
that's
they
kind of funny
said
that they.
that. But
I think it's
anyway,
exciting
let's
just for
see.
these young guys. I'm just glad we got some of our returnees come back. We were talking about Sam, another wide receiver, came back. So that was a good thing. He just came out of the portal and came right back. So hopefully that'll be the same thing with Deuce, but except he'll come with Byron Brown.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
some
there's
feedback
some
somewhere in
feedback
this whole
somewhere in this
situation.
whole
I don't know
situation.
why.
I don't know why. Well, at least we've signed something. It's not like we haven't done anything, but no big
Are you
name. But
connected to
sometimes. Are you
your car?
connected to your car? Yeah, I'm connected to my car right now. I'm driving.
Yeah, that's probably
Yeah,
what the
that's
problem
probably
is.
what the problem is.
All right, I'm
All
gonna have
right,
to take you
I'm gonna
down
have
for
to
a
take you
second.
down for a second. That's fine.
All right, sorry about that. Um, what was I saying? Oh, there's a guy that said that he tried to get up here on the link and that his speaker didn't work. Well, when you come up on the link, it'll give you a little settings tab, and you can go in there and pick what you want to be your mic, and that's all you have to do. It's not really that, and hopefully that it is what it is. Yeah. And I figured it was the radio in his car because I've called in a few radio shows and that's what it ends up being. But here, I'm going to do it one more time just because that was the one thing I meant to talk about. I knew I'd forgotten to say something. The reason that I have these lives is not really just to report everything, even though I am going to do that, but it is mainly to get people up on here to talk about Auburn. I mean, that is my main reason for starting these lives. There's the link there. It's in the comment section there. Let me see if I can click the star there. I think it'll go to the top there. So anyway, but yeah, I know, and like I said, there's no pressure to come up here. I mean, I'm just saying if you want to. I'm sure that I'll have a taker at some point. Um, but I just wanted y'all to know that's why I've done this. That's why I have this show. That's why I do this show. Otherwise, I would just be posting, my videos on TikTok and YouTube and everything else. So that's just kind of where I am with that. Let's see here. Let's check one more time. Make sure there's no other big news on anything football. Let's see. I just can't believe. I really can't. After I really trusted when Andrew Warsaw came out and said what he said. I really did. I really am just so surprised nothing has come out yet. And I'm wondering if I'm going to sit here until 11 o'clock like I did last night. We had some big stuff pop off last night at like 11 o'clock. That was kind of crazy. Bunch of big players popping off. Yep, absolutely. No problem, Voice of Reason, even though you're very knowledgeable, sir. You're very knowledgeable. Um, let's see. One more. Going over here. Auburn portal. I'm so interested in. Yeah, that Christian Neptune guy that we signed today. I couldn't tell if he just didn't get. I mean, why he didn't get a lot of playing time. I really um, don't know. Oh, here's another one. Okay, this just popped. Let's see here. It's not what we wanted, but hey, we'll take it. I'm waiting to show it to y'all. This just popped an hour ago. Let's see, hide that. Corey Pettigrew. For a USF wide receiver, Corey Pettigrew has committed to Auburn, according to On3. Corey Pettigrew. I'm telling you, this is going to be nuts, man. How many wide receivers are we going to get from USF, especially if we get the two? I mean, one of the two big ones. That's, what I'm hoping. Anybody? Absolutely. That's kind of wild. I mean, that popped while I've been sitting on here. Let me see what else we got. Yep, 1 hour ago, and that's it. All right. So if y'all have any questions, like I said, I'm here. Looks like the band. Yeah, that's what I'm. That's the other thing is that when someone talks about USF and like y'all are just bringing over USF players, well, I'm sorry to tell them, but Indiana just brought over James Madison players, and they're doing pretty good in their second season. First season didn't do bad at all, and second season they're doing fantastic. And those are all James Madison players. Well, a ton of them are, not all of them, but I just think that's an important thing that in this new portal era, because and since we're in the SEC, Singleton, really. So voice of reason here. He's been right a lot of the times. I mean, I keep tally, but he's saying Singleton and Nimrod seem to be imminent, and Cogger is a slight lean to where towards us or somewhere else. So, but since we're in the SEC, we used to have Alabama, Georgia, and they stack 5-stars. But then now we're not doing that because those 5-stars that are sitting on the bench are going to play for somebody else. So that's kind of where we're at now. Everybody's running thin on players, and so a player can just jump to where the hell he wants to go. And so that makes the bench thinner. That makes your replacements thinner. And then you have people like Indiana that are getting better players every single year. And that's why you have Alabama looking like they're going to make the playoffs, and they almost got beat by South Carolina and us. I mean the parity and the discrepancy in these teams is very, very small. Yeah. See, and that's the other thing. I've never thought about that. That is a great point. The USF players will help build the right culture because that's Golish's culture. That is a good point. I've never thought about that. Call me stupid, call me whatever you want to, but I've never thought about that. They've already been taught. They can teach the other guys. So that actually gets you, that gives they got a better curve there. Yeah, Bama's losing a bunch of players actually. They were laughing. They were laughing at us because we were losing 30-something players, and I just went today and looked, and I think they're at like 16 or 17. So I mean, and the thing is like I, as being a Bama guy or a Bama fan or a Bama staffer, it's got to be rough because the kids go there just to win. That's the only reason they go there. They go there to win and get paid a little bit of money because they don't spend as much money as we do because they have the dynasty to lean on. But that's why they go there. So when they don't win, it's amazing that they lost and they don't have a chance to win a title. So, man, they just all scatter like ants. and it's kind of fun to watch actually. Um, so I guess y'all are like me, sitting around here waiting on something to pop, because when it does, I'm going to throw a party. I promise you, I'm going to throw a party, because before this, before I'm any kind of a live streamer, content creator, whatever you want to call me, I am a fan first. So I am sitting here just waiting on something to pop. So let's see here. I don't know. It says, man, we got 118 people in here, but between the two, so that's pretty good. This is my first time to stream on Facebook as well. Um, yeah, if everybody wanted to give a like, that'd be cool. If everybody wanted to like the live or whatever, that would be very nice. But also, since I got a minute here before someone else gives me a question or some more news pops, do me a favor, and I'm under Auburn Sports Forum on every platform except for Facebook. Facebook is, some of y'all know, I had a podcast a couple years ago, and it was called Auburn Fanatics. It became too much to do over the road, but I changed it, all the graphics and stuff, but it wouldn't let me change the name. So Auburn Fanatics on Facebook, but Auburn Sports Forum on every other platform: X, Twitter, uh, YouTube, and TikTok. So yeah, Hooks, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he could pop as well. Coach AG is beginning. Let's see what it says. He's beginning his arsenal while receivers are reuniting with their QB, and why do they all know what's going to go down behind the scenes? I think. Um, yeah, I mean, I just want to make sure that the damn story is going to go together, and Byron Brown's going to be coming over here. That's what I'm really kind of just waiting on. I mean, he's the big shoe to drop. I don't know when they're going to drop it though. That's, I mean, it's oh really? Yeah, well, Deshaun Spencer's here as well, and he's electric. Let's not forget about Deshaun Spencer being here. Yeah, appreciate you catching me on YouTube. That my YouTube, because of y'all, has absolutely blown up. I've only been on YouTube for, man, I maybe a month, maybe, and I haven't been posting a ton. I have two friends that have YouTube pages of other niches, and they kind of walked me through this. And man, it's been amazing. So I appreciate all y'all, you know, that are supporting me, liking my stuff, watching my stuff. I guess I'll also report this on my page. I created a playlist, and it's called, I think it's called like meeting your coaches from 2026, Auburn's head coaches. I'm getting in and learning AI, and I'm making AI videos just on, like, they'll be posted in that playlist, but it's going to be AI videos about our new head coaches. It's like the story of their career. That way you can learn about them. So I am just posted. I did Golish's, and I did Larry Parker's, and I haven't done anybody else's, but there's two under there. The Golish one I think is 3 or 4 minutes, and I think that the other one, Larry Parker, is like 3 minutes. So they're not very long, but they go over their entire career, and that way you can kind of get to know who our coaches are. So don't know if y'all appreciate that kind of stuff, but it's the way that I'm doing my learning of AI, because I'm old and bored, and I sit around here and do nothing but look up Auburn stuff, hang out with my wife and the dogs, and do AI, videos, because that's what old people do, right? So, Wardam Eagle, what's up, Beard? How you doing, sir? Doing all right? That's cool, Dylan. Uh, yes, absolutely. Players definitely talk. I mean, and that's another thing. If y'all don't follow Anthony Schwartz on X, please go follow him. He is so much fun to watch, and he talks to the players that come to Auburn. He still talks to them, and he's nuts. And he literally throws it out. I mean, he literally was the other day getting on to all these players about, like, leaving to go to the portal, like people like Cam Coleman, Deuce Knight. He was furious about it, because he's like, y'all are getting good offers, and y'all are still trying to get more, and they're going to make you an integral part of this offense, and you're still leaving. Like, what is your deal? Yeah, he gives people all kinds of crap on X. He's a really good follow. Um, Yeah, I appreciate that, Eric. I'm glad that you sub. I really appreciate that sub. I really do. The other thing I'm going to do on here as well is once I get a pretty constant following, I'm going to do giveaways and all kinds of stuff. I'm also planning on in the future, so y'all can hear this. I'm going to sell like some T-shirts of my own stuff and my brand and stuff like that. But 50% of my profit, I'm going to put in a pot, and I'm during football season, I'm going to give away football tickets. That's something that I really, really want to do. It's just a little way for me to make a little side money, but then also 50% of it goes back to y'all because, like I said, this is a fan thing. I get 50% and y'all get 50%. I think that is really awesome. Something I really want to do and try to build up this page. So um, keep the politics out of my opinion and candor. I don't have any politics really in my opinions. I don't think this is just football. Um, so yeah, I don't do politics. I say stuff like I want to say it. I appreciate you subbing me. I really appreciate that, Beard. But I mean, I just say it the way I see it. People like it. That's great. And to be honest with you, if you don't see it the way I see it, then that's what this is for. Get up on screen and let's just have a great conversation. I'm not rude. I'm not going to get rude with any of it. I promise you, I'm not. Oh yeah, on three. I got you. Yeah, I'm. Don't worry. I'm not. I'm not. I'm here for being an Auburn fan. That's it. That's all I care about. I love Auburn fans. I love Auburn. So that's. I'm not here to argue. I'm here to just have a great conversation. That's all. Um, yeah, the USF fans are PO'd. I agree with that. They are definitely PO'd. So, yeah, y'all just follow me. I will keep it real with you. I can't wait until I can get a group of you that comes up here and talks, and that'll be great. But I mean, like I said, I only started a month ago, so we're doing pretty good there. Um, let's see here. You can call me. Oh, call you Huggy or Rooster. Oh, Rooster. I like Rooster. That's reminds me of a song. So okay. Well, I'm sorry. Sorry I called you Beard. We'll just call you Rooster. Good to meet you, Rooster. Um, yeah, USF did delay the process with the paperwork. Is that what you're talking about? Because they definitely delayed the process with the paperwork. And I also heard that Auburn delayed the process with Deuce Knight's paperwork. That's why I don't know if what's going on is going on, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, absolutely they did. USF was being kind of crooked with that. So um, anyway, one they don't want to lose their whole damn team. I mean, if you were them, you wouldn't lose them either. I mean, Brian Hartline's down there like, damn, what am I going to build with? This is crazy. Um, Diamonds in the rough. Uh, I mean, to be honest with you, the biggest diamond in the rough that I know will hit is Cook from Jacksonville. I know that that'll hit if he'll show up. If he comes here, I mean, I know that's been talked about, but I mean, he's down there playing game for real. I mean, he is doing the thing down there. Um, Oh, nice. Eric Oswald. I'll have to. All right. What's the name of your page, if you don't mind me asking? Put it down there. I'll even put it up here on screen for you. Everybody else can go follow you if they like music since you're a songwriter. Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, Rooster. No problem, bud. But yeah, Eric, just put the name of your page there. Uh, Yeah, he did. I mean, he okay. Someone put on here. Tavion says something. He says, regardless of the players leaving USF, Golish left Heartland in a great spot with the program that he built, and I totally agree with that. I mean, Brian Hartline is an amazing coach, was a good player, and he's taken over an incredible program. Yep, just like yep. Wow, holy crap! I was about to say it, and then wow, you beat me to it, Nitro. Just like Summerall taking over Tulane, it was already a good program, and then Summerall took it over. And that's something else I haven't mentioned at all is Summerall. That I think we dodged a bullet there. I mean, he's a kind of a goober. He's a good coach, but I don't know. I mean, he just didn't. I mean, you get Golish and you see everything he's done and he's proven. And then, I mean, what did John Summerall do? Took over a Tulane, and before that, Troy. Like, I think you're taking a gamble making him your head coach. I know he's got a great reputation so far, but we'll see if he can put it all together. Absolutely. He says he'll share it with all his AU fans. Absolutely. Everybody, I would really appreciate if you did that. Damn, I'm setting records today because as I told people, this is like my 5th live or something like that. My first live, I had 0 people in here for an hour. Absolutely had 0 people in here for 1 whole hour. Hang on, I forgot to take that back down. And my second show, I had 4 people in here for an hour. And then my third show, I had 40 people. And then last night, I think we had like just a hair over 100. And right now, we just hit 133 people. And then it just went down to 125. So I really appreciate this. I hope y'all enjoy this content. I really hope you do. Yeah, Eric Lee is my. Oh, really? Oh, 7 miles. Okay, let me put that up on the screen. And I'll tag it. Maybe it'll go to the top of the page. Everybody can go follow this dude. He's been really nice in the show today, so everybody can go follow this guy. That'd be awesome. But any more Auburn questions? Anybody want to come up here on panel? We can talk, or because I've got forever. I don't go to bed till like 10 o'clock, and I don't want to shut the live down if y'all don't want me to. New post. Let's see what it says. Oh, really? Come on now. Give me a good new post. That's what we want. We want a good new post. And I think we're going to. Man, come on. Nope, still nothing. That's crazy. Why? Some will get jealous, but don't get. Nobody gets me down, my friend. All I'm doing is talking about Auburn. We got people like you and other people, and we're just in here talking about Auburn. I don't, I've had so many haters on TikTok. Will teach you about social media. I promise you, it will. TikTok is the biggest teacher of haters. Like you just get on there. You got thin skin. Get on, pick something and go make a show on TikTok. You're gonna find all the haters. You're gonna learn that it doesn't matter. Haters move you up the algorithm is what they do. If they post and they interact with your content, like you just move up the thing. And on the flip side, I have made so many good friends. I have like 2 friends that I have locally, and that is it. And neither one of them are Auburn fans. So now I have a bunch of Auburn friends. In just a short time I've been doing this. Yeah, and let's see here. Says Nitro says Deuce should be smart and save his body and put money in the bank. I said that repeatedly. I don't know why he wouldn't. He's not quite elite. He's not quite ready. And I don't know why he wouldn't want to do that. Why he wouldn't want to just sit around and make some money and learn behind somebody that knows what the hell they're doing. Has been through that, been through those rough times. So, it's a no-brainer for me. And I went through it last night. All the teams that want him to come play for them are going to sit him on the bench. There's nobody out there that's going to play unless he goes to a G5 team. There's no Power 4 teams. I don't even think there's Power 5 team that is going to play him or start him. Boston College was maybe the only one, but someone earlier in this chat said that Boston College already, signed a quarterback. But yes, so let's see here. Deuce will be one play away from being the guy too. Yeah, absolutely. That's the other thing that we have talked about on this show is that not only does Deuce sit behind Byron Brown or whoever we get and learn the system and learn the culture and learn how to be a better quarterback, but if that number 1 quarterback gets injured, well, guess what? Deuce is playing. So I don't know. I know we offered him such. I know they offered him such a good number, and I have a feeling that he's in that situation where he's understanding that not everybody wants to pay for an unproven or pay the money he wants for an unproven quarterback. Yeah, he has a broken leg, but he came back like a vengeance after that. Everybody was concerned after he broke his leg, but after this last season, there's no concern. 3,000, 3,000, 1,000 guy. Only 12 quarterbacks have done that in the history of the NCAA football. I think we're all right. Um, so, I mean, I agree that he has injury history, but I mean, with what he did, I don't know. Just think that's my opinion. Yep. Let's see. It says I've got a couple an AU SEC podcast. I'll put onto your channel. Oh, okay. I got you. Ole Miss could start him, but I mean, Trinidad Chambliss, is he coming back? If Trinidad Chambliss is coming back, they're not starting Deuce over him. Don't see that happening. Um, have you got? Are you still in the car? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, let's see. He said, I like what you said about Brian Harsin in your last video. We had no Boise State transfers. That was a red flag. Now Golish, the UFC transfer, wants to play for him. I didn't know it was a red flag. I did mention that in the last show. To anybody that didn't hear me, I said I mean, Brian Harsin was a hot shoe when he came down here. That's why he got the job. He did amazing things at Boise State. And then he left there and no players came with him. And then now that didn't really set anybody off. We're like, oh, we don't want Boise State players anyway. But no one came with him, but now you have Golish, and like every Golish player wants to come play for him. Like it's crazy. So kind of telling. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's true. Yep. Most people don't know that though, but Byron Brown did almost do the 3,000, 1,000 his first year, but he didn't quite get there. Then he finally did it. So I mean, he's. It's so funny how when we were talking about getting Byron Brown, that how everybody made fun of us. And they're like, why would you want that guy? You know, he's a bum. He's not going to transfer to the SEC. His skills aren't going to transfer. And now he's in the transfer. And now he's in the transfer portal, and he's the number one QB in the transfer portal. And then we also had Cam Coleman, the number one wide receiver in the transfer portal. But yet we're the laughing stock of the SEC. It makes no sense. Makes no sense. I mean, that's the most Auburn statement I can make. We have the number one wide receiver going out. We have the number one QB possibly coming in, and we can't get more than 5 wins. Now, you tell me how the hell that goes together. Um, yeah, Birmingham Twang is undefeated. Yeah, I'm just glad we didn't go to the Birmingham Bowl. That's all I think about when you say Birmingham, so I apologize. Trinidad's probably coming back. Who did Kiffin get? I didn't see that Kiffin got anybody. Who did he get? He got a backup or something? Yeah, that's fine. You can post it. Yeah, no. I mean, I don't think anybody's following next to Alabama. I mean, Alabama, I'm sorry to tell you, Alabama is on a downturn. They shouldn't even been in the playoffs. They're slowly in a downturn. And the other bad part is their head coach likes to play close. Previous head coach did not. His previous head coach liked to kill other teams. And Mr. DeBoer over there, his man, Sorsby's going to LSU. Was that confirmed? Because I haven't seen that, but you could be right. No doubt, no doubt. Oh, okay. I can feel the chip on. Let's see here. I'll go back. I mean, I refresh this about every 5 minutes just to see if there's anything else. Come on, get off of there. Nope, nope. Now they're saying we're the Auburn Bulls. I mean, come on now. Yep. I'm trying to make sure there's nothing else. Yeah, there's nobody else. Nothing else there. Let's see. I'm going to double check this football, the regular Tennessee football offensive lineman William Satterwhite has entered the transfer portal, but nothing huge. Yep. Nope. Sorry. I'm just talking out loud here as I'm scrolling through here and making sure nothing is pop that's big. Yep, I haven't seen anything. Okay. Damn, bro, what's wrong with the Birmingham Bowl? It's Birmingham Bowl, and that seems to be the only bowl we go to when we have a horrible record. So I don't want to do the Birmingham Bowl thing. I don't want to do it. Yeah, well, it might be Sorsby. Who knows? Cam is Texas bound with $4 million in his pocket, no point of return. Yeah, they're not going to pay him $4 million. He just went to Texas. He left. They didn't pay him. I would be very surprised if he ends up getting $4 million. I don't think. I think $3 million is the top. That's just me. Especially when I heard that Auburn's got a $2 million offer on the table, and really, I mean, there's not a lot of people that are going too much higher. I mean, y'all should. I mean, some of y'all probably did. So I mean, I'm trying to learn how to word this so I don't like tick some people off. But if you were to have listened to the media of all the other teams that were possibly going to get him the day after he got in the portal, all they did all day was talk themselves off a ledge. Are we going to pay $4 million? Or Alabama, the same team that mocked the guy a month ago for dropping and fumbling a ball in the Iron Bowl, like mocked him endlessly. Hey man, you want to go get Cam Coleman? I think we need to go get Cam Coleman. I mean, they're the most hypocritical fan base. I mean, or program. I like their fans. Most of their fans are cool, but the program, it's just crazy. I mean, you're going to sit there and mock the guy and then beg for him whenever he comes available. Kind of funny. Let's see here. Not anybody going to pay Cam. Yep. Nope. Absolutely not. $3 million is the top. I don't know if I'm right on that, but I hope I am because I feel like I have a feeling about it. And I don't think that he gets out of our building if they felt like $4 million was a fair offer. If it was a fair, we have more money than we've ever had before. By the time this portal ends, I think everybody's going to be floored with the amount of talent that we get. On top of the fact that if we, as I said, if they felt like his evaluation was $4 million, I think they would have paid him $4 million, but it's not. So let's see what else we got here. If you're waiting for somebody to call in and discuss, I'll give you a holler. Do you want to come up on the panel? You can come up on the panel if you want to. I mean, I can post the link again. Is the link at the top of the page? I can't see the top of the page, so y'all gonna have to tell me. There's the link again. Let's see here. It says, yeah, Cam's going to want to come back. Maybe. I mean, I know Deuce is kind of already there, so we'll see. Let's see what it says. LSU got USF. Marcel Tate. Wow. Okay. That's pretty cool. Don't worry about pissing folk. Just say it. What the hell? Texas would have had two players. What does it say? Texas would have two players that take up 1/3 of their cap if they pay. And the thing is they had what's his name leave, Liverstone or whatever his daggum name is. He's Arch Manning's roommate. They had him leave, and man, it's crazy. Texas oil money. Yeah, I mean I get it, but it's still. I mean, $4 million is a lot for an unproven coach. You know, I mean, it's crazy. So anyway, all right, he said give him a second. All right, cool. I'm gonna have my first. I mean, my buddy, man behind the mic, he comes up here occasionally, but his I was waiting for him to get home because he was in the car, it was connected to the radio, and it was doing that reverb thing like when you're on a radio station. So I hope he's not mad at me, but can't be having reverb in all the time, right? So we'll wait and see if what's his face coming up here. This is Rooster. Rooster said he's gonna come up here. Would you like me? No, Eric. If you want to post whatever you want to post on here, I'll throw it up here on the screen. I don't care. Yeah, that's Jeremiah Smith. Absolutely, totally agree with you, Larry. Jeremiah Smith NIL evaluation is $4.2 million. There's no way Cam Coleman is getting 40. Plus, the other thing is, can someone go look and see what Nick Marsh just got and see if his contract stuff's out there? He just signed with Indiana. I mean, and his stats are just like Cam Coleman's, and he had a horrible QB situation just like Cam Coleman. So whatever his evaluation was is probably pretty close to what Cam's is. because they're really close to the same player. So we'll see if someone can come up with that information because I am waiting for. Oh, here's Rooster. He's up here. Once he turns his little. Can you hear me, Rooster? All right, let me pull you up on screen. While we're waiting on him, real quick, let's see here. Man, there's Rooster. You there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. What's going on, man? I'm glad you came up here.
Not much, bro. Just killing a couple hours before I got to go to bed and get back to work. Been off for a
Sorry
little
I
bit.
called you. Sorry I called you Beard there. I didn't know what else to call you.
Oh no, bro. That wasn't nothing. I just did. I don't. I ain't been called Beard in forever. Most everybody calls me, at least on the internet. Everybody calls me Huggy or Rooster.
There you go, man. Behind the mic, you're up. Are you ready to come up? Or let me put you back down.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, sorry I called you Beard there, but I'm glad you came up here. You're the first person, other than my buddy over here, man, behind the mic, to come up here. So I really appreciate that. I mean, you got to get to start a trend here.
That's what's up, bro. I just found y'all. Like I referenced. I got a couple of my partners that have some SEC Auburn podcast, and one of them, the live, it just ended, and I guess the algorithm popped you up, so I figured I'd check you out, bro. Like so far, I'm liking what I see.
Absolutely. I really appreciate it. So where are you from, if you don't mind me asking? What state, I guess you could say?
Oh, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama,
Oh, Alabama. There you go.
born and bred.
Well, I work in Tuscaloosa, so live in Mississippi, work in Tuscaloosa. That's kind of far out there.
Yeah, I've heard of people doing, it, especially in Tuscaloosa. You have my condolences living in Tuscaloosa. Not a big fan.
Yeah, absolutely. I work for a trucking company over there, but I'm going to ask you a couple questions here, if you don't mind me asking a couple questions, because I want to know your opinion. Because, like I said, that's what I want to know, is the fans' opinion.
Nah, that's what's up, bro.
So, what do you think about number one? What do you think about Byron Brown? Do you want him here, or do you think we should go after somebody else? Because there's all kinds of elite quarterbacks in this portal.
Well, you'll learn. Since it's our first time engaging, you'll learn the Rooster is very uh, cut through the BS, brass
Yeah,
tacks, bottom
I like
line
that
type.
actually.
Uh, I want him to come to Auburn simply because our quarterback room is decimated. Um, you always have to ask yourself when a player comes from one of the G5 schools, is it going to translate? Uh, and the fact of the matter is it's all 50-50 with any player. It's a
Yep.
crapshoot. I think most people are starting to learn that the star ratings and all these when these kids are coming out of high school, the star ratings, I mean, it's a big deal to an extent, but then again, it's not, because coaching has a lot to do with it. I mean, let's be honest, as Auburn fans, we just watched 2.5 years with, one of the top blue chip ratio rosters, and then we're losing to Kentucky, not even being able to score a touchdown at home. So to me, the star factor only goes so far, and then you get to a point where it's got to come down to coaching and culture. So, I mean, there's a positive in him coming because he's obviously familiar with Alex Golish and knows what he wants and how he wants it done. I think he'll be all right if that's who ends up, if he ends up coming. And from what, like, I had said, I got some partners that have a couple podcasts, so I got a few insiders here and there. From what I'm to understand, Brown and one other player, I can't remember his name now, but they would have already signed today, but USF is kind of dragging their feet on some paperwork. But by the NCAA bylaws, it has to be done within, I think, 48 hours. So if they're coming, we should hear about it tomorrow, from what I'm told.
Well,
And
what's really funny about you saying that is, while you were talking, I was listening to you, but I also clicked over here to see if there's any updates or whatever. But y'all know, Kyle Rush from the barn. You know him?
yes, I mean, I don't
Okay.
know him, but I know who you're talking about.
He just posted 20 minutes ago while we were talking, and it says a perfect weekend ruined by pettiness, and it's showing a bunch of USF stuff.
Yeah,
So
that's a good way to describe
basically,
it.
they're like you said, they're holding up everything. They're being petty, and our fun weekend has been ruined by all of that.
Yeah, and I mean, from my point of view, I don't understand doing that. It's not like dragging your feet is going to make them kids turn around and be like, well, you know what? I'll just stay here.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
not. It's not going to help them at all, is it?
it more to me just comes across like a child, stomping their feet and crossing their arms. You know what I'm talking about? So, um, but I'm all for anybody that wants to come play at Auburn. I'm all for them coming. My main deal is I just don't. I don't know, how many Auburn fans are in the same boat. I'm just tired of the excuses. And this a lot of my problems. Like I've discussed this ad nauseum, on the other podcast, but didn't like Hugh Freeze from the moment he was hired. Uh, in those podcast worlds I'm coming from, I have a line. I don't like his face, and that was just a way of summing up. I don't really like nothing about him. He
Yep.
always came across as a snake oil salesman. However, in his defense, the major problems at Auburn were there long before he showed up.
Oh yeah.
And I think that, the Auburn fan base is kind of splitting into different groups now. There's a group of us, I turn 43 next month. I remember when Auburn played like one of the top 15 schools historically. I can remember when people were afraid to come to Jordan Hare. And then you've got a newer group that they've never seen that Auburn. You know, all they know of Auburn is what we've been seeing. And it was one of the reasons that I was so glad that we got rid of Gus Malzahn. He made Auburn fans kind of accept mediocrity. That this is as good as Auburn can be, will be just good enough that it'll matter when we lose to Georgia and Alabama, and then every couple years we'll grab one against them. But the problems were there before him. I am personally, and I've said this several times, I want Alex Golish to bring discipline and then bring a double shot of it
Yeah, we
because
got that in spades.
it'll come. And I said this on one of the shows a couple of weeks ago. The question was, what are your 3 wishes for Auburn? And all 3 of mine were discipline, because the discipline will fix so many other problems. If you've got the right amount of discipline, you won't have to worry about 3rd and 2, up, false start, and then we back up, miss a field goal. You won't have to worry about, in crunch time, those shooting yourself in the foot moments. The discipline will get rid of that.
Yep.
And something
Hang,
I've pointed out.
hang on one second before you finish that thought. Hang on one second. So this BOFA here comes in here and says fire Golish. And then our boy down here, Mr. Nitro, said, "That must be a U.S. fan up above." He said, I mean, because they're getting mad, bro. They're getting mad. But before you continue that thought, I just want to let you know. I was going to say something on what you had just said. When Gus Malzahn left, that's when this purge should have happened. That's when we should have purged the entire team, because that team was toxic to a point of mediocrity, like you said. And then we brought in Brian Harsin, and he just set us back another 3 years. Hugh Freeze didn't set us back as far, but he set us back a little bit after we found out what's happened. But I think we should have purged the team as soon as Gus Malzahn left.
Oh, absolutely. An example that I use, and it's not college football, it's pro football, but I forget what season it was, but it was after the Miami Dolphins had, I think they were like 1-15. It was just like a historically bad season. In the
Yep.
off season, they traded Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas.
Yep.
And I remember people freaking out, like, how could you do that? They're too. Sometimes when that stink gets on you, you've got to do like you said. It's just wipe the board, start fresh.
Yep.
And
Absolutely. That's what they're doing now. So I love it. I do.
yeah, you've kind of got to, because, and I use the offensive line as an example. As many times as they had stupid penalties, holding, false start, we should have saw a fight on the sidelines. The senior leader or the team leader of the offensive line not pointing fingers at people, but in a sense of we need to do this. We've got to stop. There should have been a fight on the sidelines. Somebody should have stepped up and said, this has got to stop. This is unacceptable. And we obviously didn't see it. And the line that, to me, when you ask like bringing in a quarterback, well, you can bring in the reincarnation of Dan Marino. If the offensive line can't get it together, it's not going to matter. You could have Barry Sanders back there. It's not going to matter. The offensive and defensive line is the heart and soul of your football team, because as much as football has changed, the basics of it, the foundation has not changed, and it will never change. Whoever controls the line of scrimmage will win the game.
Absolutely. I just want to say this also. Eric Oswald, where did you hear that Byron Brown is staying overnight? I'll post it up here for everybody to see. He said Byron Brown is staying overnight, he heard. I just want to see where you saw that. I just would like to know. And then on top of that, this other guy says if Byron Brown stays overnight, then he signs with Auburn. Absolutely. I already think that's a done deal. I think they're just trying to figure out how to deal with USF and bring it all out. And then the last thing I'm going to say before I let you continue and say what you got to say, Harsin was a political move by A.D. Green. Please don't get me started on A.D. Green, because that was I don't know if y'all know this, but when he hired Harsin, the boosters told A.D. Green, if this is a failure, you're gone with him. And then that's what happened. So anyway, I thought that was, I don't really want to talk about him anymore, but anyway, there's got a Roll Tide fan in here. Oh, no, it's not. That's my buddy. Oh, that jerk. Appreciate that. YouTube police, that's my guy. He's a really good fella. If y'all want to go follow his page, I'll go ahead and do that. That's pretty funny. I'm gonna put Roll Tide in here. What a jerk. Then we got making sure I catch up on all these. Yep, absolutely. No Roll Tide. So anyway, sorry about that, Rooster. So go ahead.
Oh yeah, I heard what you mentioned about the AD and Harsin. I had heard that same thing, and I've always said I personally think they wanted to hire Hugh Freeze when they hired Harsin. But if you've ever noticed in college football, when a coach gets in trouble for whatever reason and he has to leave, there's like a window that he has to stay gone before it's acceptable to bring him back in. I don't think that they ever really wanted Harsin because it was never going to work from the get-go. But it's usually harder for coaches to come from the SEC is just different. I know now everybody's the SEC lost this. Look at their bowl record, and I always come back to, do bowls even matter anymore with as many teams that are in the playoff? And I'm not a fan of all of the number of teams in the playoffs, and I don't think it should increase. By the way, but do bowl games even really matter at this point in the game? It's hard to judge, but as I said to someone earlier, how many national championships has the SEC won just since the year 2000? And then come back and tell me how they're not the top conference. But I'm, back to Golish. So far, so good. He's saying the right things, moving the right way. I think that, I think you said earlier, he's bringing discipline, and he's been successful before. And I think sometimes people forget. It's not like you just jump to the front of the line. I know Bammers don't want to admit it, but they had no clue that Nick Saban was about to go on the run he went when they hired him. They had no clue.
Absolutely.
So, I know revisionist history. They, a lot of them want to act like it was just because he come to Alabama. Well, don't forget he had LSU rocking before he left and went to the NFL. So I think anywhere he went, he was going to be a success. Does the brand help? Absolutely. But kind of like I said earlier with the Auburn fans, there's a group of them that aren't old enough to remember Auburn being good. We got a whole group of Bama fans that don't remember the 3 and 9s and firing the coach every other year and getting smacked by Auburn, 6 years in a row. They don't remember that. And they want to act like, well, it's just because it's Bama. Since they got mollywopped by Indiana, I keep hearing about, the dynasty is over. Well, the righteous of the dynasty's been over for a couple of years. It's just, and I said this during the quote Saban years, he elevated that program to such a level that even when it started to fall, it was going to be a couple of seasons before you could really tell because it was so high up. And I don't, let me be the last one to ever give any shine to Saban or Alabama, the Bammers. But he did have the most epic run in all of college football, and I think a lot of Bama fans are expecting somebody to come in and step in and it start over. We're never going to see that, at least for another 100 years.
Well, let me ask you a question about our current coach. What do you think his record? Well, but before I ask that question, man behind the mic, what were you going to say?
Did you? This was just an hour ago, broken by Maine Easy. Corey Pettigrew,
Yep.
USF wide receiver, signed committed to Auburn.
Okay, that's cool. But anyway, Rooster, what was I was going to ask you is what do you want or what do you think Golish's record should be at the end of the first season?
Well, I've already, I'm already on record as saying 8-4. That should be.
That's fair.
Because we also got to remember, and I've said this before. I think a lot of Auburn Nation just thought, well, we're going to hire a new coach. He's going to cut the offense loose, and then it'll be the same. This is going to be a whole different team, no matter who comes back. It's a new team. They're starting over. I think he's getting a lot of the what I'll call prima donnas out of Auburn because from all the things that I've heard, there was a lot of that, and that Hugh Freeze basically was cutting checks before any production had been put on the field, and then when the production didn't meet, it didn't matter. It's too late, and I think he's doing away with that, and it shouldn't be a stretch to go 8-4. And if you're in that area, you could just as easily go 10-2.
Well, I've said 8-4 would be his floor because his contract says so. He doesn't get any bonuses or anything until he gets to 9-3.
Hey, I forgot about that too.
Yeah, so basically, the college is saying 8-4 is your floor. That's where. And now I will say, if he gets 7 wins, he's still going to be here. He's not going to be fired. If he does it the second season, then it's probably going to be have to find somebody else. But 8-4 is the floor. So I just kind of want to make that out. So I kind of liked your analysis of that.
And I also would like for the Auburn fans to just have a little patience. I'm not saying 5, 6, 7 seasons, but give him any coach, no matter how good they are, they need a season or two to really, and especially when you're talking about trying to change a culture. You don't just turn the Titanic on a dime. You have to get it going, and then once you get it going, you're in it now. The process. Mm-hmm. So I'm not, and also the more we have to hit the reset button, the further we fall back. So if he's hitting in his first year, he goes 7-5, and a lot of it I will say, because I'm not necessarily into moral victories, but if you lose by a field goal last second to a really good team, okay, because I'm personally, as long as you don't lose the fight, as long as you leave it all on the field, I can accept a loss. But when you quit, when you give up, when you quit fighting, that's what I can't accept. And I've got that saying I've said forever: you can lose the game, but don't lose the fight. Nobody, especially in this modern day of college football, it's going to be very hard to go undefeated. It just is. So I'm more looking at how they lose, and I don't personally see him coming out in the first year's 5-7. I just don't see that.
No, I think the portal, like Voice of Reason says here, I think the portal will catch you up enough to where you can easily get to your floor, and if you just happen to hit it just right, you could get 9-3. So, and also someone just also had mentioned about the schedule, and they said the schedule's pretty tough. If you really look at the schedule, there's only 2 teams that we're playing that aren't doing what we're doing. They're not. There's actually 3 teams that aren't doing what we're doing, but one of the 3 teams is getting rid of a quarterback. But all the other teams are doing rebuilds, and they've gotten brand new coaches. So I'm not saying we have a leg up on them. I'm saying we're dead even with them. So those are winnable ball games. You have all those ball games that are winnable, plus the ones that are gimmies, plus the 2 or 3 teams that are not gimmies and they're solid football teams. I think 8-4 is very easily gettable. I mean, I'll probably do a show on that one day about the whole schedule and my opinion of it. But anyway, I think 8-4 is very gettable. So I agree with you.
Yeah, and I think the SEC as a conference is kind of balanced. I mean, we just watched a football season where Vandy was, complaining about getting left out of the playoffs, where, Georgia and Alabama get bounced out in the same weekend. So I don't think it's, and not just the SEC, the NIL and the transfer portal, it's kind of leveled some things out. Because let's be honest, we all know the top tier players have been getting envelopes under the table for a long time. We all
Oh,
know that.
absolutely, 100%. I got a story about that where I didn't even I indirectly, not with Auburn, it was with another stupid little college, but I worked for somebody that was a booster, and I handed a thing over to somebody and didn't know what it was, but it was one of those envelopes you're
Yeah.
talking about.
In high school, I didn't go to school with them. They graduated some years before me. But if you remember, to me, an Auburn legend, Rob Pate,
Mhm.
uh, phenomenal safety. Him and his brother Philip went to my high school, and a couple of years before them, an Alabama player, Rod Rutledge, went. Well, during the down period where they're not allowed to work out and stuff, they're still handed a piece of paper with reps that they need to go do. And those guys would come back to the high school to do their reps. And I won't mention, I guess maybe the statute of limitations is up by now, but I don't want to throw nobody under the bus, put their business out there. But let's just say that at least one of them rolled up in the parking lot in a brand new Escalade. And it was his first year. So it just is what it is. I am personally, I've been calling for players to get paid for a long time. I've never understood how we're the ones on the field, we're the ones taking all the risk, but all you cats get to make millions and billions of dollars. But if somebody buys me a burger from Wendy's, oh, I just committed a violation. It's always been a scam. So I'm all for him getting paid. I'm also on record saying any player that wants to transfer and people say, oh, well, he's just chasing the bag. Well, you sound like a poor person that's never had millions of dollars set down in front of you and told, hey, just come to my school.
Well,
So
I'm
I'm
glad you're
ne-
talking about money right here, because the question that I asked, I'm not trying to cut you off, but this is kind of a big one. I asked someone in the comments to look up Nick Marsh's NIL value because his stats are so close to Cam Coleman's, the way he plays. I mean, he's an electric player like Cam Coleman, and he had a bad quarterback like Cam Coleman with Jackson Arnold. So someone has looked it up and found it, and it's absolutely mind blowing. I mean, I love stuff like this, because how in the hell is Nick Marshall worth $531,000, but yet Cam Coleman's out here asking for $4 million? Can
oh,
someone
it's
explain that to me?
from what I've also heard from a little birdie, that was the problem with Cam Coleman is maybe ego's not the right word, but he's aware that he's got some, out there talent.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. We all just watched this past season. I'm assuming we're all here talking about Auburn football. How many
Mm-hmm.
times did we see him not run through a route? How many
That's
times did we see him make a mental mistake that somebody claiming to be on that level
so.
ain't
Are you
making?
are you in agreement with me that he is needing a little bit of help on his route running?
Absolutely. He needs to
Okay.
work on his hands. And I want to choose my words carefully on this one because I don't want to seem
Absolutely.
like
Absolutely, because you have to, because he's an amazing talent, but
he is. And
there is some work
I don't want to
that he
seem
needs
like
to
I'm
do.
trying to tear anybody down
Yeah,
because I'm
absolutely. Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
But the fumble in the Iron Bowl, I noticed that half the base was just, crucifying him, and the other half was like, "Oh well." It was more somewhere in the middle. Yeah, mistakes happen, and it's not the end of the world. However, a wide receiver that sees himself as being, or not just a wide receiver, anybody that's touching the ball, that is trying to present themselves to be on an elite level, they know in that situation, I cannot fumble this ball. I've got to wrap it up. If I don't gain but 1 yard, can't lose the ball.
Yep.
And that's one of the things everybody needs work. I mean, they said Jerry Rice used to work in his 10th, 11th year, the same he did when he first started. You can always get better. And I've always been told in any, occupation, and let's be honest about it, this is their occupation. Once you feel that you can't get any better, you need to get out because now you're about to fall off the cliff. You can always get better. So my radar goes up anytime a player has an objective to constructive criticism. That's why I say choose my words carefully, because I'm not bashing the kid. He's phenomenal, but he's not all the way there. He does need some work, and because like you mentioned, quarterback. Yeah, he could have had a better quarterback situation, but let's be honest, we watched balls hit him in the hands and not get caught. We watched balls be put right where they needed to be, but he gave up on the route, so he wasn't where he was supposed to be. And
Yeah.
that goes
Yeah.
back to the mentality, the culture. Usually people think the fans when they think culture, and yeah, I think the fans need to kind of reset their culture. But the greatest teams in Auburn. I don't know if you're familiar, but the former Auburn strength and conditioning coach Kevin Yox. If you go listen to Darren Bates, King Dunlap, any of those guys talk about him, they hold him in such regard and such respect. But he was a taskmaster. If you screwed up, you wouldn't make that mistake again. But then you look how they won. You look how because one of the things I think is wrong with Auburn's mentality, they don't know how to gut out a win. They don't know how to snatch a victory from the jaws of defeat. And that's 100% mentality. Like, if I'll take it to Auburn, the national championship season. If that team didn't have the right amount of discipline and the right mentality, you're not coming back from 24 to nothing. You're not coming back, what against Georgia, what was it, 24 to nothing, or the, Auburn can't do that anymore. What we call the Auburn magic is gone. And I've always said the football gods will get you so far, but then you're going to have to kick the dough in. You can't always rely on that. And I think a lot of things have become accepted at Auburn that are not going to translate to a winning football program. And those things have to change. I think, I've said this for years. If you told me, hey, this next season, Auburn's going to lose to Georgia and Alabama, but they're going to go on a run and win the national championship, I'd take that every year.
Yeah.
Because as much as we hate Bama, as much as we despise Georgia, you don't get a trophy. You don't get to raise a banner for those games.
Were you talking
It's
about discipline and stuff? Have you watched Golish's interview over the past 6 months? He's got a couple interviews out there. He tells about he goes into detail on how this works.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I didn't know much about him beforehand, but that's why I say he's saying all the right things so far. And everything that I've heard about the man from people that are around him is we don't got to worry about him going golfing. He is a football guy, and that's all he does. And that's what we need. We need a coach, that's not really concerned about anything else except this football program. Because I think one of the things that held Hugh Freeze, held him back is he was more, one of his big concerns was being cool with I call it the board of directors, the
Yeah.
boosters and the people who are, pulling strings behind the scenes. That
Yeah.
had a lot to do with the golfing and things like that. But if Auburn loses at home to Kentucky 10-3, Alex Golish ain't worried about a tee time on Sunday. He's probably just going to sleep at the facilities.
Well, did you hear Hugh Freeze? He said that those were his wife's tea times. That's what he said when he
Yeah,
had an interview.
I heard that.
Yeah, he had an interview with Pollock over there, David Pollock, and he in the interview he said that was his wife tea time. But before we go any further, I do want to say that this YouTube police guy in my stream here, in my chat here, is a buddy of mine. He's a real police officer. He has a real YouTube page. He's just come in to help to be a moderator. So if y'all do me a huge favor, go over to his page and follow it. Like I said, he's a really good guy. He's just in here to help me. So I'm just letting y'all know who he is, what he is. He means no harm. He's just in here moderating. So anyway, not a big deal. So anyway, beyond the Byron Brown thing, beyond the record, beyond all of that, um, how long does it take this team to get to a playoff? I think all Auburn fans are arguing over if that's even a thing.
Well, I mean, me personally, that's not even in my mind because let's say next season Auburn goes 10-2, wins the SEC championship, and they're in the playoffs. They still aren't ready for that kind of run. And if you watch football for any amount of time, the way I call it is the stairs. There's certain steps you have to take to get prepared for those moments. So if I was Auburn, a fan or otherwise, the playoffs would be. It's almost like, and now I can't think of the coach's name, but playoffs. That
Jim
shouldn't
Mora.
even.
Jim Mora.
Yes, one of my favorite. Pro or college, one of my favorite coaches. Um,
Playoffs.
yeah, that should be the furthest thing from anybody's mind right now.
Yeah.
It,
We got to
it,
get
it
this culture right. Absolutely.
exactly, and that's why I say that, because you're definitely not, even if you make the playoffs, if you can't avoid shooting yourself in the foot, you're still not going anywhere. So I personally, to give him enough time, because we also, like I said, give him 2 seasons, and then season 3 is when you can really start judging where the program's heading. To me, it wouldn't matter if he come out next season and they run the table. It doesn't suddenly erase all those things that need to be changed.
So what do you
Uh,
say, man, behind the mic? What do you say about playoffs? When do you think that should be a thing? Or do you think that we just should fix culture at this point?
I really think, like I just saw, like look at Indiana, look at Texas Tech. They did it in year one, year two. I mean, year one, Signetti already had Indiana in the playoff, and first year he was there. So I mean, he didn't go anywhere, but he made that team out of nothing. Second year, they're already in the playoffs again, and then Texas Tech this year.
Hey, he did it with your boys too over there at JMU.
So, but I mean, like I said, I think playoffs is a possibility. But like I said, you just gotta take it one game at a time. Don't look ahead. That's how I see it. If you take it one game at a time, I think we can. Anything's possible. But culture is a thing. Like discipline, like I said, he was talking about discipline is another thing as well. But like I said, I think the culture is already here. Golish is already setting his terms. So he's already
Absolutely.
telling these players like, hey, you don't like it, go bye. So
Yeah,
we're not
culture's going to set you up for longevity. Absolutely.
because I think Golish is long. Like I said, I think he's already got a 6 month plan. So once I already heard that in the press conference, introductory press conference, I think we could win now.
Well,
Now,
Tavion down here says we're going 10-2.
yeah, I said 9-3,
that would be
10-3.
nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I love these discussions because, like I said, some of these questions I'm asking you, Rooster, are when I go through X or whatever, and I see like a repetitive question by a bunch of Auburn fans, I'll put it in my notes in my phone, and I kind of look at them before I come on here because there's a lot of these same questions that Auburn fans are asking.
Did we find
Oh, yeah,
out
and for the record, I can't hear anybody else other than you. So if like the man behind the mic, if he was to ask me a question, I haven't heard anybody speak other than you.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, cool. Well, yeah, he
Can
was
you hear
talking a
me,
second
Jeremiah?
ago. So I wouldn't. If I'm not talking and you're not talking, then he's probably talking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if I interrupt, that's why, because I
Yeah,
did.
if you interrupt him by accident, I'll let you know. Not a big deal.
That's what's up. But
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be good. It'd be cool to go 10-2. Which I've been asking this question since the playoff expanded. Is it really worth winning your conference anymore? Because this year was a slightly different from last year, but last year none of the teams that got a bye won their first game. And this year Indiana won, but Ohio State went down. Texas Tech went down. Football is not a sport that you can go damn near a month without playing and then line up against a team that just played a game and you're ready to go. It doesn't work that way. Um, I think and I'm not ever gonna support Georgia, but I think that's what really hurt them. The fact that they hadn't played a game yet. Ole Miss come in already fired up, which with Ole Miss they've got the added motivation of Lane Kiffin. But I'm one of the people that the playoffs should start as soon as the regular season's over with. There's no need to wait that long. Um, so it makes me wonder: is it even worth winning the SEC if you make it in already? It would be. It's kind of good to go ahead and get that game out of the way, get the cobwebs shaken off, get back in your routine. And people may disagree with it, but just go look at the last 2 playoffs. The evidence is right there.
I
Well, the
mean,
And
thing
look
is,
at
the
Ole Miss.
NCAA, the NCAA came out. What did you say? I'm
Ole
sorry. Go
Miss
ahead.
didn't. Ole Miss
oh
is
no,
in
I
the
was I
playoff.
was
They didn't even
stopping.
win the title, so they're in the semifinals. And Georgia and Alabama are out, and Georgia won the SEC. So don't really matter if you win the title.
Yeah,
Ole Miss is
absolutely.
proving that.
Yeah, I totally understand. My thing is I don't understand why we the NCAA's come out and said that the SEC championship game is not going to count for you or against you, but then it just did, and it also did against BYU. It did. It did. You know, I know that's not SEC, but the NCAA is that covers all of it is basically saying that they're not going to look at those conference titles as anything good or bad. It's just a conference title, but yet they did it this season. They did it with BYU. I don't understand why we even, I mean, I don't even understand why we have that at this point. Like, just run your season. Whoever has the best record is the champion, and then we move on the way that this is all playing out. Because I just don't, the fandom and the social media is going to put the pressure on those championship games no matter what you do. If someone like Alabama this year, they lost 28-7, and everybody was saying, well, because of that, they don't deserve to be in the playoffs. And then here's the NCAA, I mean, here's the SEC and the NCAA putting them into the playoffs. I mean, they're doing nothing but causing controversy.
Well, that statement that who deserves to be in, like, we all know the NCAA changes. They change things on a year-to-year basis, sometimes on a week-to-week basis. Uh, I don't I don't know, how do you determine who quote deserves to be in? Because, and I like with the G5 schools, it's easy to say they shouldn't be in there, blah blah blah. Well, if you're going to say they're Division 1 top level football, then they should be given a chance. But if, let's say, JMU, or who was the other, Tulane, if they'd have went
Tulane.
on a run and won the national championship, would everybody still be saying that?
No.
No. So to me, because I've heard a lot of talk about getting rid of the SEC championship, and if it works with the SEC or the Big Ten, then everybody else is going to follow. I'm old school. I don't see how you could not have a championship game. But the thing people need to realize, and I've said this on the records many times, the fans are the only ones that want a pure sport. Everybody else that runs this sport wants a paycheck. And I'm not saying that as a negative. It is a business. And we're acknowledging now that the NCAA college football is basically the minor leagues for the NFL, but it's always been that way. So that you have to remember, if they're going to get rid of something that makes them a lot of money, they're only going to do that when they have found something else to replace it and keep that revenue. And a lot of people don't understand, for games like this, the way it'll boost a city's economy. And so they're not getting rid of it unless they can replace it. To me, only way I could see that happening is if they make the conference championship games a part of the actual playoff. Kind of like where, now if you get to the second and third round, you're in an actual bowl game. You've won a bowl championship, and then you move on. Kind of the same concept. Uh, which I've also said that the NCAA is intentionally letting things run wild right now, because for so long people have been against the NCAA. So from my perspective, it looks like they're letting everything run wild, so people will double back and then demand, no, this is crazy. You've got to take control back. Because it's not like they've lost control right now. It only appears that they have. But it's all part of a plan. It's all, they're not, the thing that most people don't understand. If you've ever been around anybody that is a legitimate millionaire, they do not take losses. They do not lose money, because you're not going to stay that way. That's why, when people talk about how greedy wealthy people are, well, yeah, how do you think they amassed all that wealth and that fortune? By being greedy with it. So this is all
Well, they're
just
still going to have to fix the system, the money system, the portal, the money system, and the playoffs. They have to
I
fix
think there
all of
should
it
just be
together,
one
along
portal.
along with the schedule of the off season. This whole schedule we got is complete garbage, and they're gonna have to
absolutely.
fix. They're gonna have to fix not just the playoffs, but the money situation. Then that's why I think it's so important that I'm cool with everybody calling me crazy that they already have. Is when I say Golish is doing these incentive based contracts, the way he's handling this team and doing all of the financials behind the scenes, the way he's doing it is to be prepared when they finally say enough is enough. We're going to rein it in, and he's going to be like, "Yeah, well, we've been reined in for 3 years."
I totally agree.
And
And
there's other
that,
coaches doing it as well, but it's just not as many.
yeah, and that's what I mean by they're letting it run wild. They're not sitting up there right now with no idea what they're going to do. They've got an idea. It's just this, it takes that time to get there. But they're like, I say it like this: they're letting people see what they're giving them, what they've been begging for, and now everybody's doubled back and said, "Oh, this is just insanity. Nobody cares, about the team. Where's the loyalty?" It's all part of the program. It's gonna all get fixed. They're gonna make sure they get it fixed, not for the fans, because I think, obviously football is an American sport. Football fans, Americans have showed they don't care what happens. They're going to go buy that football ticket. They're going to go to that stadium. A couple months ago, I made the comment that Auburn can go 0-12. I bet you they have 12. I bet you every home game sells out, and they're not the only school that can do that. So everything's going to work out, and they're going to get a new plan involved, but it's just kind of in its infancy right now. And you know, they're definitely going to get control over the NIL because you are having too many players like already. Like some of the things I've read about just getting a B+ quarterback, it's a couple $1 million. Well, if it doesn't work out, you've lost that money, and now you're back to square one. You got to go pay another guy millions of dollars. So it's right now. It's what I'd call controlled chaos. It's being allowed to run wild so people can see, well, we got what we asked for, and now it's not what we want. Because college football fans are very fickle. Let's just be honest about that.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I see it all as part of the plan. It'll all get, it'll all get, all the details will get ironed out, and all the, I's dotted and T's crossed, and the NCAA will still be making millions of dollars. But I am glad that the ball is rolling on it, because it's never seemed right to me. And this is one of my problems with people turning on players and, oh, screw that guy because he got paid more money to go somewhere else. Nobody ever cared when the coach that just signed a contract dipped out for more money. Nobody
Yeah,
cared about that. But
Lane
the
Kiffin.
guys that are actually on the field, they're supposed to turn away millions. I'm telling you right now, outside of, betraying my mama and my children, there ain't much, you can't have of mine. You put down a couple million in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Like I've said this before, people forget these young men are still children. And I don't know too many 18 and 19-year-olds you set down 3 million in front of and say, "Hey, come play for me." Why would you say no? We're talking about generational wealth that can change everything in your world if handled correctly. So I don't mind at all. I'm enjoying the scramble. And I also feel that despite money, if you don't want to be at Auburn, then you need to transfer out, because you could have the best player in football. If his mind isn't in that game, then it's not gonna matter. The
yeah,
people underestimate how much the mentality has to do with football. It is a mental, brutal sport, and it's why it's one part of the allure of it. It's a man's sport, and in this world, men have to be logically sound. They have to be sound of mind. That's why it translates to the game, because it is a brutal man's sport that demands that you stand up and be accountable and be a man. So I'm not mad at nobody for changing their entire families, the course of their life, because they're not selling out their integrity. They're not doing, shady things that you would be ashamed of. They're playing football. They're playing a
yeah,
game. So if the bag is there, bruh, go on and get it. And I'm on record as saying this: no matter, despite the talent level, the players that are only chasing the money, they're not going to be the foundation of your team. They're not going to be the team leaders. And eventually, other schools are going to see that and be like, "Well, bro, they were paying you money over here, and you didn't show up to, off season on time, or you did this, that, and the third. Well, then you come here, you come to this next place, you kind of did the same thing. Yeah, we'll pass. It will eventually work itself out to where the dog, and there's always going to be those kids that do still have that dog in them, that are like, yeah, I can go over here for 5 million, or I can go over here for 2.5. And this coach has a successful track record of putting players in the NFL. That's not a, I mean, that's a win-win for everybody. It's all going to eventually circle back around to a new normal. But a lot of people, I guess, they're just stuck in their ways, and I want my old football. That's not going to work anymore, because we've had, on the other shows, we've had the discussions of, can you be a hard-nosed coach in today's game? Absolutely. You think Kirby Smart don't get on his players, but he's got that track record. He can hold that hand up, back-to-back national champs. Look how many of my guys are in the NFL. So you have to get to that point. I think in today's society, it's such a microwave society, people want everything now. Great things have to be built toward. Foundations have to be laid, and then it's brick by brick. And until you get all of that done, you can't put the roof on it, which is to say, you can't get that national championship. You can't be that elite team until you've built the foundation underneath it, and it's solid. And I agree. I think Golish, if I'll say this, if he fails, it won't be from a lack of trying. So
yeah, I don't think I'm not even. I don't even think I want to talk about him failing at this point. If he fails, that's great, but I just don't think that that's a thing right now.
no. And let's be honest. I mean, he might have to, at this point in the game, he'd have to try to take the program lower than what it is. I've said before that a lot of, myself included, a lot of fans, I think at this point, there's people that would rather, maybe go 0-12 instead of being in the fourth quarter, biting your nails. We still got a chance, and then watch them blow it. Like, to me, those are the hardest losses to stomach. If you just get boat raced 70-0, well, you never had a chance from the beginning. But when you're still in the fourth quarter, when you're watching your team struggling and shooting itself in the foot, but man, we're only down by 6 points. We can still get it. And I don't know, I may be speaking for just myself, but if you're honest about it, no, it's been some years since Auburn has been in a one-score game that you really were confident that they were going to go down there and win. I know I haven't been.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't mean to cut you short or anything, but we just went over the 2-hour mark here. And so I want to thank you for coming in here, and I want to invite you anytime. Saturday nights is when I have my show, Saturday at 6:00. I don't mind going for however long we need to go. Normally I stay on here for an hour, but I'll stay an extra hour or two if I need to. But anyway, Rooster, I just want to say thank you for giving all your input. I mean, if you want to come back up here on Saturdays, that's fine. I will be here every single Saturday at 6:00. And before I get off of here, man behind the mic, you have anything you want to say before I get off here?
So I did see something conservative cowboy was saying that insider Target underscore insider Byron Brown is committed to Auburn.
Who?
Conservative cowboy 17. It said that Target underscore insider Byron Brown is committed to Auburn.
Yeah, I haven't looked and see if that account. I want to know that account before I say anything about it. But everybody's saying War Eagle to you there, Rooster, in the comments.
War damn Eagle, bro. I appreciate you. I wish you all the success. I'll definitely be in that Saturday at night. It's perfect. I'm not doing nothing but playing with the babies, and
that's awesome. Well, I hope to see
I'll
you
definitely
there.
be checking in with you, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I really appreciate everything you had to say, and I appreciate War Damn Eagle. And well, I'm gonna get you off of here real quick, but I appreciate you coming.
Yes, sir.
But are you done, man behind the mic? Do you have anything you want to say before I get off?
I was just happy to see Daniel Carson actually hit a game-winning field goal. That was nice.
He said Daniel Carson. All right.
Hey, he beat the Chiefs.
So, are you getting on TikTok after this or what?
Yeah, I'm getting on TikTok. Yeah.
All right, I might see you there, but I'm gonna pull you down here.
Okay, sounds.
All right, so everybody, I just want to do you a favor before I end the show. I want everybody to know that I am a part of YouTube. I'm a part of TikTok. I'm a part of Facebook. On the Facebook, it is under Auburn Fanatics. It is not under Auburn Sports Forum because they won't let me change my name right now because I used to have a podcast. Doesn't need to get into it, but it's Auburn Fanatics on Facebook. But on the other platforms, it is Auburn Sports Forum. If you can go follow those pages, that'd be great. On YouTube, if you can go ahead and hit the subscribe button, that would be fantastic. Hit the little bell so you know when I upload my videos. Go watch my playlist, do everything you got to do, and hope to hell that we get a Byron Brown announcement sometime in the next, before we start playing football. That'd be fantastic. So until next time, I appreciate everybody. Until next time, War Damn Eagle.